All right, let's go to the energy issues. A hot summer is predicted, and now there is a lot of concern. Infrastructure Partnerships Australia, this is an independent industry think tank, has warned that the Albanese government's heavy-handed intervention in our energy market risks muscling out private investment. This is, of course, as businesses struggle to keep the lights on and bills soar. Joining me now to discuss this, the Australian's Environment Editor, Graham Lloyd. Graham, the report says 4 out of 10 investors say we're not likely to touch this sector. We're concerned about Chris Bowen's sweeping interventions into energy. It's got a $320 billion infrastructure investment gap. It desperately needs private sector money, but they don't want to touch it with a barge pole. I mean, what does this mean, Graham, for our power grid?
Well, good evening, Peter. It means that there is a level of dysfunction and chaos in this transition that's really coming to the fore. Ironically, the government said it wanted to give industry security for investment by legislating a target, and this report shows that there's anything but. 4 out of 10 just want to sit on the sidelines, even though there is a desire to invest in renewable energy. The risk in doing so is too great because the government is intervening in places, changing the rules, and they're just not confident to get involved.
Today we get that report too from the energy market operator that says the system, you know, we've had a good look at it, we're concerned about the extreme weather coming up over summer, the heat, etc., etc. They're saying we think that the system can hold up, but, and it's a big but, provided that there's no, I think they call it unexpected issues, there's no issues with deteriorating infrastructure, there's no untoward events. I mean, that basically says you get a bushfire, you get a cyclone, something else goes wrong, and we're in real trouble.
That's right. Look, we don't get any wind for a period of time, for instance, and then suddenly all the calculations change. I think it's extraordinary that the market operator is sort of saying, oh, look, we think everything's going to be okay. But then you read the fine print of the report, it says there's a shortfall of supply in Victoria and South Australia, and there's probably going to be issues in every jurisdiction. So they're really putting on a brave face, but it's obvious thing is being held together by sticky tape in effect.
Yeah, and they say in the report things like demand management. Now, what that means for people at home is we're getting all our big industry players, all our big companies, all the big smelters, we're forcing them to shut down, workers not work, companies not do their jobs over very hot periods of time, that's as predicted over summer, just so we can keep the lights on. That's the problem. Our grid can't work at its usual operational tempo, can it?
That's right. It's an extraordinary thing that we're going to sort of fortify the grid by telling people not to use electricity. We had Boral a couple of weeks ago, the big building products group, saying it's cheaper for them to just switch off and pay their staff to stand around than it is to continue working. This illustrates the weakness really that's in the system, and it needs to be bolstered to a very high degree.
Graham Lloyd, thank you. You want to wonder why we've got problems with productivity? There it is in a nutshell.